the I'm a Fan of podcast, music, comedy, and more.
Emily Grefer, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And
Appreciate it.
I'm very excited for this episode because you're moving to Chicago.
I know. He's very excited for me to leave.
No, because this is your chance, okay? We're going to burn bridges. You're going to tell me all the dirt.
Oh, my God.
All the dirt because you're going to Chicago.
I'll never be able to come back
It won't matter.
here.
It's okay. This little town.
Sure.
You don't need to worry about it. So right off the bat, worst comics.
Stop.
Worst clubs.
Worst comics,
worst producers.
Clubs, worst producers.
Worst joke you've ever heard.
Worst joke I've ever heard. Anything with the N-word in it. I'm just going to be controversial and just say people... Especially white guys. Don't say the N-word.
Even if a black guy says the N-word?
No. I'm not going to tell black people what to do.
Okay,
so
fair enough,
that's not me. But if a white guy says it, I'm like, okay, good luck, dude.
All right, we won't, since you're not going to take that bait. How was the final roast and toast farewell? What happened? Where was that at? DCC?
Yeah, I was at DCC. Gretchen killed it. Gretchen wrote a lot, and she wrote for everyone, and she did a really good job.
I haven't got to watch her perform in a while, and she's somebody I really want to watch because I saw her perform a long time ago, and she's had all these life transitions, and I'm in this weird phase where I'm viewing her more as a show producer than a performer. And she even kind of talked about that when she was on here, but I want to see her as a stand-up because I feel like her head's in a different space now, and I feel like she can write different now. I don't know.
Yeah, her writing has improved. I think her performing has improved, and I think she's more comfortable in her skin.
Yeah.
At least that's what I've observed, especially over the last 2 years. I can see she's put in a lot of work. So,
who else was on the show?
It was Gretchen, Andrew Deacon, Niaz Shabazi, Vinny Corrales, and David J. Diaz.
Yeah.
So,
what was the favorite roast that you got?
The favorite roast I got?
They were roasting you, right?
Yeah. Niaz says that when girls enter the scene, they get a lot of shows if they're pretty. And he's like, not Emily. I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Also, I'm mad at you.
Yeah, right. Did you get to dish any out?
No, not really.
You were just taking it, yeah.
Yeah, I was just taking it because I asked these people to do it because I wanted them to be there with me and celebrate with me. And I didn't want them to feel bad at the end of the night.
Yeah.
You know, if I said something mean and they're like, oh, I didn't know this was what this was going to be.
Yeah.
You know.
But did you have anything loaded just in case somebody crossed a line where you were ready to just come back?
Yeah, for sure.
Burn their soul.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, you were that?
Yeah.
You know.
Who was your favorite roaster?
I think it was Gretchen, honestly.
Really?
Like Gretchen, because she said she wrote for 2 days straight, and she read me some of them for other people to be like, is this too hard? Because I know those people better than her. And I was like, no, these are perfect. She did a great job, honestly.
That's good.
Yeah.
I want to see Deacon roast because I feel like he has the ability to get really mean if he wanted to.
Yeah, he's got.
I've never seen him be mean, but yeah, you see it in there.
Yeah.
Even though every time I've been around him, he's totally pleasant. He's always been polite to people, but
no, he's secretly a bad person.
Well, I mean, end of an era. What do you think?
I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited to create without expectations.
What do you mean?
Like going to, like when you're in a scene for a while, people have like expectations of what they believe you can do or what they believe your work is like. But to enter an entirely new scene with none of that and to just really observe and kind of take everything in, it's like you're almost like shedding a skin. Like I still have my material, but I can not be worried about, oh, what does this person think about me? Because I don't know them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like a more honest creativity.
Do you know anybody up there?
I know 2 people, and I don't know them very well, so it's not like I can like really lean on them.
Yeah, so you're going right back to not the beginning of being a comic, but the beginning of working the scene.
Networking.
So you're going to start back in, you're going to find open mics and just start that route? Or
yeah,
what?
which is not my strong suit. Networking, I mean, everyone in the scene knows networking is not my strong suit. I'm not the nicest person all the time, so.
That's it? You mean like... networking is not your strong suit because you're going to be mean every now and then.
Not going to be mean. I can't fake it. Like if I don't
fake it.
Yeah, if I don't like someone, like I really try to just distance.
Yeah.
And that was like some of the roasts that were on the show is just like, you know, we've all felt it when Emily doesn't like someone, and all the comics in the back laughed because they can just tell. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to have that again.
I have these conversations with my wife because now that we have a kid in elementary school, there's 40 group me's that you need to be a part of. We're fortunate that he's going to an elementary school where there's a lot of parent activity, which is why we wanted to be there.
Sure.
But there's also, there are moms who don't work who can be 100% involved in all this outside stuff. And so it's just da-da-da-da-da-da on there all the time.
Yeah.
And they're all about networking. It's a neighborhood where people do want to be there for their children, but you can tell some people are there for networking. And she's like, I'm not that person. I was like, don't be that person. And she's worried the kid's going to get left out.
Oh.
But then now that we've settled in, it's like, oh, no, you don't have to do that, because there's a whole group of parents that don't want to do that either.
Yeah.
And those are the ones she's gravitating towards. And it's like, yeah, we'll have our own little birthday parties, all that stuff.
Sure.
That whole networking, like schmoozy.
No, and your wife's down to earth, and she works. Like, she doesn't have all day to just be dee.
It's all day. Like, I joined it for a little while. She was like, I want you to see. I want you to feel the punishment.
You left the chat?
Literally, yeah. No, I mean, it would be 11 o'clock at night. They're still going. There wasn't even etiquette of, we clearly have school children. We're going to be in bed by now, you know. And it's just, what was one of the things that was weird? Like with DISD, I guess once the enrollment numbers are in for that year, if your school has more or less students than anticipated, they kind of shuffle some of the teachers around. So like one of our teachers got pulled to go to another school. And this was maybe like, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks into the school year. And there was this long discussion of like, I just don't know how we're going to break it to the children and how they're going to cope and all that. It's like, they don't care. They care
barely
a little.
Know her.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. We're talking about kindergartners. Like they don't. But it was just, it went on for a couple days.
Really?
Yeah, like, I was worried they were going to break out therapy for the teacher moving or something.
That's too much.
Which is nice that they're involved, but at the same time, fucking get a hobby, get a life, something.
And it's like every change that happens in your child's life is not going to traumatize them.
Yeah. We need a little bit of resilience.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be all right. But
yeah.
So I don't think you're going to have to worry about networking,
Yeah.
Because you see those phony people walk in. Oh my gosh, who are you? Hi.
I can't stand the comics that say hi to every single one, every single person and they're like best friends with everyone. I was like, you can't. I was like, half of these people are lunatics. Yeah. I was like, you can't do that.
I'll go up to people a lot, just for this podcast, and I'll ask them about somebody. Have you watched them before? And you get the real opinions that are polite.
Sure.
They're not they're not tearing anybody down.
Sure.
But then you have those people who are always like, "Oh, they're great. They're great." It's like they're all great. They're all the best. Just tell me the real thing.
Yeah.
They're funny, but they're new. They need to work on it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they just can't do it.
I will say Perio is honest like that. And I appreciate that. Like whether you agree with his opinion or not, like he will just straight out say, well, this is what I think of this person's comedy. He's not like mean to them or about them as a person, but he'll straight up say it. And I'm like, okay, at least I know, like, I appreciate that more because I at least know what your opinion is.
Well, and I've heard more than a handful of people talk shit because he did that. And it's like, well, you asked.
Sure.
You asked.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's also got, lots of experience in this scene, working for clubs.
Yeah.
And he gave you a straight answer. Do you want him to bullshit you?
Yeah.
Do you want him to go, we'll see if we can get you up on stage eventually. And then you eventually just never comes? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, it's also like kind of, I think he's in that precarious position of kind of being a booker, also being a comic, going to mics where he sees a lot of new people or people who believe that they're on this certain level that they should get these things.
Yeah.
Even if the club that he works for is just not a good fit for them.
Right.
Like, you can't get along with every club, and not every club is going to be for you. But they will take it very personally. Yeah. So...
I get it. It's art, and it's your thing, but I don't know. I've seen a couple classes roll through now, and so that's been exciting to see the people who bitch and moan and kind of fall off, and then the people who take the criticism and grow.
Yeah, or just even if you don't do anything with it.
Yeah, you just take the criticism, and it's like, well,
yeah,
okay.
Like Perio gave me a book about body language and was like, "Oh, you should read this for performing on stage." Haven't read it.
A book about body language.
Yeah. And I was like, I mean...
Do you think he just had it, or do you think he bought it?
No, he had it, and he said he had read it, and it was just more about like how your body language is and how people perceive it. And he was like, oh, this could help you on stage. And I'm like, yeah, I know where this is coming from, but I also don't care if people view me as closed off.
Right.
Like, because that's really what it's about. It's like how you protect yourself, kind of. But I don't really care about that. So I was like, okay, thanks, Perio. And that was it.
I'm not going to say their name because
Sure.
I think they're good. I like them. But there was a comic that they're active in our scene, and they something switched, and I don't know what it was, and I'm not cool enough with them to ask them.
Sure.
But they would be on stage, and they would have more of a standoffish thing like that, almost an intimidating vibe.
Yeah.
And it worked really well. Like the communication was softer but more assertive.
Sure.
And it was like more dialed in, like looks that would like cut through you, and it was working with the punchlines, and none of it was ever insulting, but there was just this kind of like, ooh, you kind of, something about you intimidates me a little bit, but it's kind of exciting, you know?
Yeah.
A couple years later, they have completely switched. And now it's this like, I'm trying to have this fun energy on stage. And it just, for me, like they're getting laughs, but I don't know that they were...
Does it read as like kind of inauthentic?
Maybe if I had never seen the prior version.
Okay.
It wouldn't gut me so much because I think the prior one was better. And I think the laughs you were getting were, maybe you got fewer laughs, but they were bigger and they were more real, you know? So it's like the setup would gap it a little bit more. And then when you got it, it was huge. And instead they have more of these, like somebody who's focusing on laughs per minute or something, rather than, no. I can be fine with no laughs for a minute.
Sure.
If when you get there, it's just
dynamite.
That blew me away. And I felt like what they were originally doing was closer to that.
Sure.
And there was just this confidence. And it's like, did you take a class or a seminar or talk to somebody?
They probably started doing improv. Honestly, they probably started doing improv.
It is a very improv-y vibe.
Yeah.
And they probably would have went to one of the more improv-y clubs around here.
Yeah.
I bet that's where they picked it up. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And and that works for some people. That's not my vibe. Like, I'm just not a big act out person. I'm not the smiley, bubbly girl on stage. That's just not me. And that's like, I'm fine with that. But some people want to kind of mold you into that a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why I was very curious if you would say if it was a guy or a girl.
I don't want to say because I'm worried people would narrow it down.
Okay.
I'll tell you afterwards. I still think the person is funny and they're capable of having whatever career they would like to have.
Sure.
You know, if they want to work at it, they'll be fine.
Of course.
And they open for bigger people. So I always wondered, I wonder if one of these bigger people they consistently work with gave them this advice. And then you wonder, did they give you this advice to kind of sabotage you a little bit? Because I've heard now about people not wanting you to be as good if you're opening for a headliner,
Yeah, there's
some jerks.
Yeah, there's some headliners that bring features who are not as funny because they don't have to work as hard.
Right.
And that's just basically comes down to it is like how hard do they want to work for their check. Ultimately, it's really competitive amongst people who are in the same scene who are like both kind of neck and neck between that jump between like featuring and headlining, and they can kind of like switch and do either, like in that weird space. They don't really like being on shows together because if they're both kind of at the similar skill level, but like say it's a one-nighter for whatever reason and one person's featuring, but that person is almost right here with the headliner and they kill it and the headliner struggles, then they're going to be really upset because then they think the club is going to perceive them as, why do we have this headliner? And that's not that headliner's not good enough. Yeah. It's the feature just had a better set and it was longer. It was 20 minutes instead of the 10. So they like feel like pseudo threatening, like in a way.
But also, if you're going to be a headliner, like
it's like welcome it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you should be aware that that's a possibility.
Yeah.
And to always stay on top of your stuff, right?
And you would think because it's like at least the crowd's good.
Right.
You know?
And I think there's probably that natural switch, right? They're thinking about the performance of the other people rather than the people who paid money to come watch their performance.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's easy to slip out of that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you got to do many headlining sets here before you leave?
No, I didn't, but I also didn't prioritize it either. It was more of because we were trying to get an apartment in Chicago, starting renovations, starting packing. I started a writing workshop. No, I didn't start it. I participated in a writing workshop that Dean Lewis put on because I just wanted to work on prompts and like other strategies for developing material. So I was like doing all of this at the same time. And I was like, people around here know me. Like, they know what I can do. I wasn't really focused on like having like a big, like the roast was like a nice send off for people.
Yeah.
But I didn't do any time on it. And I wasn't trying to be like, I'm the headliner leaving.
Right.
That just wasn't me. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you think? How do you think you're going to approach the new scene? Fresh, you got a blank slate to just do whatever you want.
I think I'm going to start taking classes. I want to do like TV writing at Second City because they have a good TV writing. They don't have one for this semester yet. And just some other maybe sketch. Just like I want to kind of focus on writing, but I'm going to try to do mics every night. Just be nice, meet people. But like I'm still always that kind of like arm's length person.
Yeah.
So I don't know, probably very similar. I guess the only thing I'll do different is not date comics. That's really it. I was like, that's the only thing.
Well, you're off the market now, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. I was like, I am married, so that is very comforting.
But that's like whenever I waited tables. It's like, it's the forbidden fruit. You're just not supposed to date these people. And inevitably you're like, well, this one will be different.
Yeah. It's like, but he's really funny and he's really nice. Well, he also lives out of his car. So it's like,
oh my gosh.
But you know, it's also kind of funny about the being married thing on stage for women. Crowds like you better because they it kind of works in ways where it's like two different ways of like the women in the crowd will not be like threatened by you or intimidated by you because if you're making their man laugh, like they're like, oh, I don't care, that woman's married. Like she's not here. She's telling us about her husband. She's not here for my guy. Yeah. And then the guy is kind of like, oh, that's not an option for me. So like, oh, okay, let me just see if she says anything funny.
Right.
You know, it kind of like, and not totally because there's always people who shoot their shot when they shouldn't, but it almost neutralizes you in an interesting way.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, and I think there's I don't know. How long have you been married now?
We got married a month ago.
Yeah.
For insurance. So.
For insurance. God, y'all are...
Yeah, we haven't had this ceremony or anything yet.
Okay. Well, yeah, a lot of those shifts happen real fast. And I don't know, there's just something so nice about things like that.
Yeah.
Are you feeling that yet, or is it still so new?
It's new, but I have like the most grounded, solid, kind, reassuring partner that I didn't feel a major shift because I've always felt very secure in the relationship.
Maybe not a shift that way, just when you're out in the world. That
people treat you like you're more of an adult if you say you're married.
There's something like that, and then there's just you know, like for me, it's like now that I have a wedding ring, like it helps that women don't think you're always hitting on them.
Sure,
that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Those interactions is like pressure's way down.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden the world seems a little simpler. That there's no long. It doesn't look like it's always like if I say, "Oh, excuse me, I'm reaching for that real quick." It's like, "Oh, great, this guy."
Yeah, but then they see the ring and they're like, "Oh no, his wife's probably like, don't forget this."
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, and then it levels up another level once you have kids. Same thing.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and now the world. I don't know. You'll see it too.
Yeah.
It's only been a month, but you'll see that. It's like you kind of view even people that were in committed relationships. It's like if you're not married, you just kind of view them like you don't know. Like, you don't have a clue. Like, right now, you guys are taking some steps together, renovating a home to sell, moving across the country.
Yeah.
These are all things that break up a lot of relationships.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So you guys getting married and then going through these things and staying together, you know, then you'll look at people who haven't done those types of big commitments, and it's like, oh, so what's the deal? Y'all can't figure out your Saturday plans?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
It's
rough.
like you can't pregame or go to the game. Like
you kids figure that out. They're like, we're the same age.
Well, it's also always like when my friends who are in long-term relationships, not that their relationship is not serious to them or like it's not loving and committed, but when they break up, I'm like, oh, but this is so much simpler for you now. Like you don't have the, you know, whatever legal things you have to go through. I mean, you could have like bank accounts together or whatever, but it's not sticky in the same way. It's
not, I've got to tell my whole family. You know, I've got, you know, it is a serious relationship.
Sure.
But the marriage is just so much more serious.
Yeah.
And you do. And then I didn't like when we had a child, then I looked at married people without children that way. And then I think Megan King used to have a joke about how you people that only have one kid, like you're on easy mode or something, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
And now that we have a second one, I'm like, fuck, she was now you're looking at people with one kid and you're like, you don't know.
You're like,
you have
that's
no
barely
clue.
anything.
Yeah. And so like you guys being married a month, even though you're like it's a new level of kind of mature observations of the world, you know? And then you're still saying, yeah, but you don't know. Yeah. And I used to think everybody who said that, it was such bullshit. It's like, oh, shut up. I got an idea. Yeah. And you just don't. I don't know how to describe it. You just can't really prepare for it. Yeah. It's not bad. No. It's just totally different.
Totally different. And having kids we don't plan on having kids, so that's a struggle I'll never understand. Yeah. And I'm not even like poo-pooing on it or anything. Yeah. It's just, it's a lot of work. It's a lot.
What I didn't realize was when I was childless, how much free time I had when I thought I had no time.
Right?
You know, when I was like, God, my day's so busy. And now I'm thinking like, I would kill for that day right now. I could get so much done.
Right.
And I would say that if you're never going to have kids, just realize you have so much time.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Get it done. And like, just don't ever find yourself going like, oh, it's all slammed. I can't get anything accomplished. Yeah. And if you do say that, think to yourself like, have I been sitting on this couch for 45 minutes when I said that?
Yeah. Have I been on TikTok for an hour doing nothing? Yes. Yeah. Actually, I have.
Yeah. It's interesting because I'll see my wife and it's like at the end of the day, it'll be the last 20 minutes before bed. That's when she's scrolling. And I used to be like, what are you doing? And she's like, I haven't done this all day. Yeah. Everyone else has done this today.
She's like, I don't want to think. Just let the phone feed me information. Exactly. I don't want to produce it. Yeah. I just want to consume it. And that's also funny too, is because Carrie Smith, she doesn't have kids, but I saw her a couple months ago at a show and she said something because I was like stressing about something with this move and then something else. And I was like, oh, I have to do this. I have to do that. And she was like, oh, yeah. So you get to go to IKEA. And I was like, this bitch has been to therapy.
Yeah.
Because it's a perspective shift. You think like, I'm sure like being a parent, like I have to go to work, have to pick up the kid, have to go do this, have to make sure they get this appointment, this, that, and the other. And then you have to like almost think, wait, I get to do this because I'm their dad, And it's kind of like putting in that perspective. I'm like, oh, you're right, Carrie. I hate that I don't hate that she said it, but it was like the reminder that I was like, oh, don't be ungrateful.
Carrie I feel like she's that woman who would be the great mother you never expected to be a great mother.
Oh, fantastic.
You know what I'm saying? Right? Yeah. When you the last time I talked to her on here, something was wrong with the locks on her car and there was like a strange person in the back or something.
Oh my God.
Or like moving stuff. And I was like, Carrie, lock your fucking door. But at the same time, I feel like she would, like if she had a kid, she would go to crazy extremes to parent that kid.
Oh, for sure.
And would be like, like if it was the 70s or 80s, she's the one who's like got rollers in the hair, smoking cigarettes, being like, hold on, take your lunch. I got to make sure you're full. Like just really caring from a crazy level.
Yeah. And she's just she's lived a wild life. So like she's very like in tune with like when people are genuine or disingenuous and like she reads people very well. I think she'd be a good parent because she'd very easily be like, I don't want you hanging out with that kid. Yeah. Like she could tell what kind of home that kid some other kid is growing up in very easily.
She's weirdly thoughtful.
It's weird to be thoughtful.
She was very late to her podcast interview.
Oh, really?
And I would have thought she was so full of shit, but she was hand painting a mug for me. And I would have thought she was full of shit, except she brought it out and the paint was still wet.
Oh my God, Carrie!
I might have it in here. Hold on.
Oh my God, I hope you do. Literally. I hate when people are so, oh my God, Carrie!
Look on the inside.
I'm screaming.
So I could tell it was last minute.
Oh my God.
So it's all running off. Look, one of her hairs got stuck in the wet paint.
Oh my God, Carrie.
Maybe we can get that on. I don't know if you can see that. And then she got the name of the show wrong. She said, I am Fan Man.
Oh my God, Carrie, I love you so much.
Painted a dick on the inside.
I absolutely, I love that. I am Fan Man.
But she she was like, I'm so sorry I'm late. I brought you a gift and that's why I was late. And I was like, you're just thinking like, you don't have to lie. What is this bullshit? And then she popped out the mug. I was like, oh my God, she was really painting him up.
Oh my God. I love her so much. That's so funny.
And like, what am I the mug's filled with toxic paint now. I can't ever use it. So
you're gonna have to just put pens in it.
Yeah. I'm fan man. When the studio gets bigger and I can have a wall of stuff,
my God,
we can throw it up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is one of my favorites, and I feel like she is. I feel like if she finds her little corner of either our scene or a different scene, she's gonna thrive. Because I've seen her be funny so much.
Yeah.
And I don't, you don't really know what makes people rise faster or slower in terms of popularity and bookings and all that. But I like her a lot.
I think she'd do well in New York. I don't know if she has any desire to move. I think she would just do well there. So.
Yeah, I think some people, and I don't know if this is necessarily about her, but I think some people, well, like you were saying, people have these preconceived thoughts about you now because you've been here. How long have you been on our scene now?
It'll be 8 years in February.
Yeah, so, it's the people in the scene kind of get you.
Yeah.
And there's no more like shock and surprise with anything necessarily. Oh, she's probably going to do something like this maybe. Mm-hmm. And with her, I think that's definitely part of it too.
Sure, yeah.
Whereas if you, I'll be interested to see when you go to Chicago if it's a ramp up with the people who put on shows and things like that because it feels fresh to them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and most people, when they move, it is like that. Yeah. Just because it's like you have all this material people haven't heard. Mm-hmm. It's something new for their show. So they're like, oh, yeah, for sure. Like it's almost like a novelty in a way to them. I mean, granted, they get to know you then, and then it's like, okay, they can tell if you're solid or not. Mm-hmm. But it's also like high stakes, too, because it's like you have to perform well at every show because all these bookers talk and everything. So, if you don't really try your best, then they're like, this person just moved here from where? Mm-hmm. Really? Okay. All right. I guess we won't have them on again.
Right. That's true.
So.
Yeah, but it'll be it's good pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
Good pressure.
Yeah.
And then you'll get to have a fresh lens on a new comedy scene, which will help your writing immensely, I imagine.
Oh, and
just all the material coming out of all these life transitions you're having.
Yes,
right now.
that, and I would say living in a very walkable city, having more human-to-human interaction on the daily, because being in Dallas, like, we're in our cars all the time. We're in our homes all the time. We're not, like, out and about on the streets all the time talking and meeting strangers or even just encountering people that we don't really know that well. It's, like, a much more isolated experience, whether when you're in downtown, like, you just have to be used to being around strangers all the time. And I think it's funny. And there's a lot of like good like things there.
So you're going to live in the city proper?
Yeah, we got a apartment that is like a 6-minute walk from where my husband's company that he works for, their headquarters is. So it's like right in the downtown, which is nice. We live next to the river. But like we're not going to have cars up there. So it's going to be walking and public transit. And
oh, you're going to go all in.
Yeah, I'm so
excited. Has he lived up
excited.
there before? Or is this both of y'all's first time?
I've never lived there. He was born there, but he hadn't been there in so many years.
Man, what a fun experience. That's going to be so good.
Have you been to Chicago?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. My sister tried to get me to do the Chicago Marathon with her.
Oh, really?
She is a better runner than me, and she has still not accomplished a marathon. And I think she just gets in her head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a mental thing. And so part of her, analysis paralysis is she wants to find a race that like ticks all the things for her first one. So like the weather's going to be nice. It's pretty flat and it's scenic. And so she wanted me to commit to the 2026 one.
Oh, okay. Are you going to?
No, we have 2 children. I do not want to travel to Chicago with a 5-year-old and a 3-month-old.
Yeah,
because I mean, he's not at an age where we can go have fun with museums and things, and it's and then the trip would be revolving around the running.
Sure.
So it's really just going to be my wife wrangling 2 children while I do a selfish thing for me.
Yeah.
And I just don't. And then all the fun cliches of like, well, I don't want to get shot. Like,
yeah, which
I'm just joking.
No, I'm just saying it's like, but people have that perception, which it's like,
yeah.
Okay, just don't go to O Block. Like you're fine. Like,
but I won't know where that is. What if the course goes that way?
Okay, you're gonna have to listen to some King Von songs.
Okay, fair enough.
You'll learn about 63rd, 64th, 65th Street, and then you'll kind of know where to go or not go.
Yeah. No, when I went there, it was when I used to play music, so it was early 2000s. So I'm sure it's a very different city already since then. But no, I mean, I wouldn't mind checking out. I think when my kids are older, we'll probably. I would like to take them to other cities to culture them. But right now, he just wants a park like that. He wants monkey bars, and that's it.
Yeah, just rolling around in the dirt.
Yeah, so the whole day would just be, are we going to a park? Are we doing something fun?
That's cute.
Yeah. So like instead, our trip's going to go, like we're going to go to Colorado, where we can go to the river, go outside, all that kind of stuff. But
I went to Manitou Springs in August. Have you been to Manitou Springs? It's like 15 minutes outside of Colorado Springs. It's this like kind of resort-ish, but like very artsy.
Okay.
Like ski outdoor area town. It's where Pikes Peak is.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
So
see, the guy in me knows Pikes Peak, you know, because the race and everything. That's all you had to say.
Yeah, but it's honestly, it's a great town, super walkable, very family friendly. The buses are free. Like,
oh, that's cool.
There's a great park there. It was honestly really, really fun. I really enjoyed it. I went there for a comedy festival, and it was so nice to have actual things to do outside during the day. Mm-hmm. And it was like 80 degrees max.
Yeah.
It was really fun. Highly recommend Manitou Springs.
Yeah, my wife was asking, she's like, the cabin we're getting, she's like, there's no AC. Are you going to be good? And I was like, it's not going to be hot.
Yeah. What time of year are you going?
July.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's going to be, if anything, we might get a little chilly at night. You know?
It did get chilly. It was like 50-something, 60.
The first time I ever went to Colorado, we were playing music, and we're in Denver, and someone was like, you know, I was asking directions, because this was before, like, smartphone GPS navigation was so popular and everything. You know, we were literally using paper maps to get around.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah. So you just hop on here and you head west. And I'm like, which way is west, though? Like, I don't have a compass on me, you know? And they're like,
yeah.
So do you see the mountains? I was like, oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. No, I'm from Texas. We don't have those types of, you know, points where you can. So I was like, that's kind of something you take for granted probably living there, is you have something, you can just go, oh, it's that way. You know, I can figure out exactly where I am by these giant things over here.
Yeah, no, we don't have that here. It's field. Random highway, accident, field.
Yeah. That was one of the most memorable stops we ever had when I played music, was going to Denver, because we had
Really?
Yeah, we had a friend of a friend, somebody in the group knew him, that they had moved up there.
Yeah.
And they lived in this like small community, not like in the mountains, but just high, you know, what we would consider mountainous. Sure. As Texans, it's like they were up the big part of the hill, you know?
And it's like, no, there was just kind of some trees around their house.
Yeah. But he had a bunch of skateboards and stuff, so we ended up doing this like skateboarding downhill all day, which you don't get to do here. It's like, oh, I don't even have to push. You just hop on and go forever. Yeah. And then somebody like picked us up at the bottom and took us back up top.
Really?
Yeah, it was just such a fun little unexpected side trip there.
I like Denver. Denver's a really good city.
Yeah.
And they have a good comedy scene too. They do. And like Fort Collins has a comedy scene, smaller, but you know, still decent. There's some good people who've come out of there. So.
Yeah. I think we're going to find out over probably the next like 10 years that so many states have great comedy scenes.
Oh, yeah.
That just don't have infrastructure to showcase them.
Minneapolis has a great comedy scene.
Yeah.
Cincinnati has a pretty good one. I'm trying to think of other places that have a good comedy scene.
Where does Danny McBride live? You know, from Eastbound and Down? Because he does his own production company for movies and things, but he's a comic, you know, or for TV shows and movies. But he's a comedian, right? Yeah. Maybe not a stand-up comic, but a comedian.
Maybe he's in Atlanta, because Georgia has like very loose kind of like filming and creating.
Well, because I was going to say, I think areas that have people like him, someone within whatever his company is will get inspired and go, we got to start filming these stand-ups and releasing specials for him. And that'll grow those scenes, I bet, independent of New York and LA and all that.
Yeah, I would guess maybe Atlanta, because I'm trying to think of where.
For some reason, I feel like he's from the Carolinas, but I don't know if that's where he's working out of. Maybe he's just from there.
Yeah, because I don't know a lot of things being like filmed and produced in the Carolinas. So besides the Murdaugh documentary, but anything else, I don't really know.
Well, you're 8 years in. Have you ever got a itch to record anything yet?
I mean, I have stuff recorded. I just haven't put it out. I'm like...
You mean clips?
Yeah, I have like, I guess like 10, 15, 20, 30 minute like things recorded, but I don't have like a special recorded. I just haven't really felt the need to. I don't think it's necessary, and I'm like, if I want to put something out, I'll put it out one day. I just haven't felt like it, and I don't want to like force something that doesn't feel right, because I see a lot of people who put out comedy specials that are very, I'm not a big fan of the crowd work ones. Like, I just don't like that. That's not my taste. I mean, crowd
you got to
work,
be extremely good at it.
Yeah.
Clever, not the same old, well, you've heard so much crowd work.
Yeah. And it is a skill. It's a good skill to have, but like straight material, like Trey Mack put out a special online, and his is really good. I would love to see Des O'Neill put out a special.
Yeah.
I
would like to see Des O'Neill do a lot more, but I can't crack him to figure out, like, what does Des want to do? You know, because he's so reserved. He's he's not chatty. Yeah. You know, he doesn't really give you much to work with. In just like casual conversation, he's not going to give you all his secrets, you know?
No. We'll talk about conspiracy theories with you.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I think we talked about Hollow Earth.
I saw him at Cowabunga's New Year's Eve show, which was a great show. Lots of people there. He was on it, and he was asking like, oh, when are you moving? And I was like, end of January. And he's like, oh, are you flying up? I was like, no, we have to drive because my cats can't like go on planes. And he was like, why is that? And I was like, oh, they just have anxiety. Like, that's just the type of cats they are. And he goes, oh, I was looking for something else. He was like, I thought this was like a conspiracy, like cats weren't allowed to go on planes. And I was like,
so he's looking for them.
Yeah, I think his YouTube is just tapped. Like, he's just like listened to everything. He's like, I gotta find, what have I not heard?
Well, and if you are open to any conspiracy right now, this is the best or worst time, however you want to look at it, in history, because there's so much access to anyone's conspiracy. And look, he probably believes in some wild ones that you're just like, Des, come on. Yeah. But I bet a couple of them we're going to find out, holy crap, he was right about that one.
There's probably a lot of them that have a kernel of truth somewhere.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I think it's a lot of these like older conspiracies, it's from like media and any type of documentation that was like a while ago. So it's like back, 30 years ago, you couldn't live fact check people and post it online and be like, this is exactly not what they said and they meant this. We do that instantly now. We can instantly look up, oh, well, Kristi Noem said this, blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, no, that's not actually what happened because this is this clip in the video right here. And she didn't, this, that, and the other.
Well, we had, probably over the last 10 years, right? I think probably the 2016 election was the first time where we saw large amounts of politicians where footage was resurfacing and being spread out on the internet.
Yeah.
And people were, you could tell they said something in a little town, had no idea someone was recording it, thought they could get away with saying it, and on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Twitter or whatever is like, look at this video my mom had from Wisconsin when they visited,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's like, now you got to really think about what you say everywhere, which is, for a politician, you should.
Sure,
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is wild. We'll see what is... what conspiracies seem so crazy right now, and then when we're old, we're like, holy shit, it really was the cereal, or, like whatever it is.
I'm just so stressed about politics currently that I'm like, I'm sure there is like conspiracy theories I'm not either aware of or things that people are putting together that I just don't know people are talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like we're going to find out conspiracies a lot sooner. Yeah. I think anytime there's going to be like a big surprise is if it's like in a court, like a literal court in front of a judge where they have to present evidence people didn't know about.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to be a much shorter time than I realize until basically like I'm viewed as like a bigot because my views have stayed the same.
Sure.
But the goalposts have shifted me from like bleeding heart liberal.
Yeah.
Okay, views haven't changed.
Yeah.
When I was young, it was like, oh, you liberal, your mindset, blah, blah, blah. And then the views haven't changed, and now I'm like conservative centrist.
Yeah.
Is what I'm called. I'm like, but I didn't change any views.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't hate people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know.
It's like, no, I just wanted to hear what they had to say. You know? And they're like, no, shut it all down. I'm like, okay, all right. And so the goalpost is going to keep shifting. And it's like, how long until I'm just a relic of the past,
A relic of the past, but it's also how much can you kind of blame people for learning in real time what the correct thing to do? I'm not talking about like, yes, you should be kind and patient and generous with people, but like the correct words to say or, the correct way to like refer to a certain situation or something. People are learning in real time.
I mean, the pendulum swinging on weird things like food.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Food science is very flimsy, but it's also like it's very harsh. Like the types of diets people go on.
So like it was a liberal viewpoint to go, we should be getting our food from farms and not these corporations.
Yeah.
Right. And now because people are so team oriented, you got a guy like RFK who's polarizing, talking about with the revamped food pyramid of we want you to eat as much real food as you can.
Yeah.
And now that's a very conservative view.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I remember people
having that pyramid,
having arguments about just, you should get, like now the thought of getting your food from farms and fresh places is suddenly a very conservative view.
Yeah.
And when I was a teenager, that was a very liberal view. Like, just go to the store.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see if it swings back to a liberal view, because it's like I've lived long enough now to see viewpoints swing and change.
Yeah.
And I feel like over the last, probably 4 or 5 years, that's been a new, kind of like we were talking about with when you get married.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like you're more mature, but there's just a new perspective.
Yeah.
And it's like now that I've seen the swing through a couple generations, I think now I'm less jumpy on a topic.
Yeah.
I'm less willing to, now I'm sitting back going, well, let me hear your arguments and see what you guys are doing,
Yeah.
before I really have a strong opinion here.
Well, and it's also, I think, very mature to say, I don't know enough about this to have an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are very quick to think that they have to pick a side, or like have a statement about something when they just haven't looked into it that much. And I think it's really okay to just be like, I don't know that much about this person or this policy or whatever it could be, and it's like on the face, like so many articles, clips, it's like, oh, well, so-and-so said this and this is what this means. And it's like, okay, but like I have to realize I'm taking 30 seconds of a 2-hour like event that happened, or you know what I mean?
Everything needs a little more context.
Yeah. For sure.
We can take all of your statements out of context if we really want to.
Yeah.
I think what's been fascinating to watch is Trump's second term. That I'm not a Trump fan. I didn't vote for him.
Yeah, me neither.
But when things are done that are objectively, a good idea.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of one of those, but yeah.
So something he's trying to do right now is he's trying to put a year pause on outrageous credit card interest rates. So if you've got a credit card that's got like 20 or 30% interest or whatever your horrible rate is, he wants to, I think by the end of January for a year, had the credit card companies knock that down to 10% to help people get out of that.
Honestly, that's not the worst idea.
Right.
If you can help people get out of credit card debt, that's a legitimate good thing to help people.
And then he's talking about the other one that really surprised me because he's I would just assume he's always on the side of big corporations and big business because that's his background, right?
Yeah.
And especially in real estate.
Yeah.
And he's talking about trying to get legislation through that prevents corporations from buying homes for rental properties.
That's a very interesting
I wouldn't think he would put that forward.
I wouldn't think that also because the United States government is like one of the bigger buyers for like public housing, like the military.
Yeah, but
those are like.
But I think they're talking specifically about.
Are they talking about like homes?
Retail rental properties,
like just random single family homes.
Yep.
That okay.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like he was talking about. Because it's either I get them confused. It's either BlackRock or Blackstone. I can't remember which one it is right now.
Yeah,
I think it's BlackRock that owns thousands of rental properties, and people are saying that is inflating the prices.
Yeah.
And then
it's a smaller market now.
Yeah. And then so, to get in Dez's world, it's like some of the conspiracies, and I think they've shown some of this is that they'll buy homes to flip in certain areas.
Sure.
They'll flip a home. They'll sell it to one of their other companies at a higher price. So they're buying it from themselves just to inflate that price before they sell the other homes in the neighborhood that they're flipping.
Oh, yeah.
So doing sketchy things like that, obviously.
Sure.
Where we're the ones getting screwed when we're just trying to buy our home.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, but what's interesting about all that is coming from a place where, the 20-year-old me would have been like, I don't give a shit what he does. He's fucking horrific. I would have been all in like, I was wearing, when I was in like my punk rock days, I was wearing a shirt with George Bush on it that said, not my president in the Austin Capitol, and I was like, I'm like proud of it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I'm in this weird spot where it's like, well, I don't think you're ever going to see eye to eye with anyone.
Sure.
And if we can get a couple good things, that'd be great. Like they're there now, where used to I would feel like you got to fight tooth and nail.
Yeah,
every issue, even if it's potentially better for you. And look, 10 years from now, that could be a terrible way to do. I don't know, but I've just found it interesting how now that I've seen a couple versions of like political tension amongst both sides.
Yeah,
it's now I'm finding more nuance, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like it's really easy to create an us versus them mentality now amongst people, even though there's a lot of people who voted in ways that I wouldn't do and have done things that I don't agree with politically. But it's one of those things where I feel very hard pressed I don't want to lash out at them because I am angry at some of the things that they've done. But I know for my argument, yelling doesn't make my argument more valid. It's more of like statistics.
Yeah, there's a lot of yelling too. There's a lot of yelling.
Yeah.
Definitely having the kids now, you see these people yelling about that stuff, and the first thought is like, God, like you don't even know what a real problem is yet. And it's like that's a jump to, because you're thinking about just the interim day to day that you got to get through.
Sure.
And it's like, I don't have time for that right now. Okay, like put it in like write it all out as best you can, post it, email it, whatever you got to do, and then I'll read through your thesis.
But you think about it kind of on the flip, some of those people are so angry because they do have kids and they don't want their kids to live through certain situations or have certain outcomes or have certain rights taken away from them.
Well, there's certainly just as many people with children who have batshit crazy opinions that I disagree with.
Oh, sure,
You know what I mean? Sure. Where you're just like, fuck.
Yeah, you're like, you procreated, but
yeah.
All right, interesting.
Yeah, well, like another good example is it's like, I'm pro, immigration. I don't mind. We're a melting pot, right?
Sure.
But when there's investigations going into, billions of dollars in a daycare fraud in Minnesota, you're like, okay, I think we can both put this aside and we can go, let's not focus on the immigrant part of this. Let's focus on the fraud of this. And like, let's find out whether you're citizen, non-citizen, if you're stealing that money, we gotta do something about that.
They're very quick to say it's Somali daycares.
Yeah.
They're very quick to point that out instead of saying, hey, all these daycares we found out are committing fraud.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, why are you making that distinction versus, because I'm sure if there is fraud, I haven't looked into the evidence, not saying I know anything about it, but if there is fraud for these daycares, why is there a distinction from these other daycares that are probably committing fraud? If there is a mass fraud thing that are not Somali daycares.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think what they're proposing that they're going to find out is that the representative up there, Elon Omar, I think is her name, who is Somali.
Yeah.
And because they have a large population of those immigrants there.
Yeah.
And I think the accusation is that there's a handful of people within that immigrant community who rose into positions to allow that fraud to happen, and that they were actively in on it as public officials as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's being thrown around, because if it is that factually, they also know it's going to be, scoreboard point for them whenever elections come up, that they can throw that out there too. So it is a little bit of a politics, like a Republican Party is definitely going to want to use that as ammunition in the next elections of like, look what they did.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the root of it. But I don't know. It's leaning towards it might be heavily isolated within that group, but we won't know until they do a real deep investigation. I don't know. I think personally, as someone who has a kid in daycare here in Texas, I think they're all committing some level of fraud nationwide.
Yeah, it's insane. You told me what you paid.
It's insane. And we go to a good daycare.
Sure.
But it's still not the most expensive one.
Oh, no.
We had one that was more affordable, and it just didn't fit with what we wanted.
Yeah.
So we're spending a little more than the average person probably wants to, but only by like a couple $100 a month. And
even people I've known who've their kids are in cheap daycares, it's at least $1,200.
Yeah.
At least for a month.
And if you went in there and you saw the workers, if it was like, okay, this is the teacher that's going to be in this class. They have this background in education, these diplomas and credentials, whatever it may be.
Sure.
And they've been with us for 15 years. And this is their life's mission is to help children progress through this phase of childhood.
Yeah.
And that's why they make, $130,000 a year.
Yeah.
I'd go, well, that makes sense why we pay this much.
Sure.
This teacher seems fantastic.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're making that much.
My sister worked in daycares for 9 years, and she worked at decent daycares. They're not.
How long
the
ago was
cheapest.
this?
She's now a private nanny for a family and makes more money as a private nanny. She's worked with this family for 2 years. So 2 years ago is when she left.
The prices are still relative.
Still relative. She didn't make more than $45,000 a year.
That's insane.
And she was full time.
And when you can do the quick math of like what I told you we pay for my kid, okay, and then there's probably 50, 60 kids here, and you're pulling that down a month, and the building's been here for 15, 20 years. I doubt you're leasing it.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
Definitely not.
Well,
in her classes she said she had, their max was 30 in a class, and they are divided by age group.
Yeah.
So it's 32-year-olds. Like, it's 39-month-olds.
Yeah.
Whatever the infant age, it's 30 of those kids all at the same time, and most of them didn't have an aid. Like, there would be a lot of days.
$45,000.
Yeah, for 9-10 hours. No, I don't know if she started at that time, but the daycare was open from 6:30 to 6:30. So,
but even if you're just doing an 8-hour day, even if somebody's relieving you, it's $45,000 for some of the most crucial times of raising a kid.
Yeah.
You want someone who's a professional.
Yeah.
And you're going to find a few people who just have a great heart and want to be around kids, and they can budget really well, and that $45,000 works for their lifestyle, or they have dual income and they make it work and they just love it. But it's going to be hard to find those people because you're really good people at some point when daycare is now run the same way as a corporate business is.
Sure.
And you want to make more money every quarter and whatever bullshit percentage. There's going to be a cap on what comes through the door. So the next thing is going to be cuts. We're not giving good raises. We're going to do one less teacher. And your good people are going to go just like they do in every shitty company.
That's legitimately why she left, is because she didn't make enough money and they were, working her to the bone.
You can only do a 2% raise this year. Something like that, where it's like, what?
And it's like, you do know what apartments rent for here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, God, I wish I could remember who it was. There's some comic, they had a great bit where they were talking about the January 6th riot. And they were like, have you guys heard about daycare payments? And everyone's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I just found out about daycare cost.
Yeah.
He's like, if you had shown me January 6th where they're storming the Capitol, I would have assumed it was about daycare. He's like, I would have thought they're definitely going up here after daycare. And I was like, finally, somebody who gets it,
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do.
Well, and it's one of those industries that I feel like is pretty unregulated. Like, there is baseline insurances and things that you have to do. But as far as the quality of the teachers you have, the quality of the food you serve, the cleanliness of the facility, I think it's a sliding scale for a lot of facilities, and it's not standardized.
Yeah.
So,
and it comes down to who is the person dropping in to check in on those standards.
Yeah.
Does it happen once a year and they can polish it up because you give them a heads up and they always tell you when they're coming, or do they just randomly drop in 4 times a year? Because I would take my tax dollars to do those things.
Yeah,
and
make sure
audit
children
and do.
are
I'm
safe.
fine with that. And I have a coworker. They're from Hungary, and she told me that their maternity leave is 3 years.
Wow.
You get a year paid at, I believe, full. And then I believe the second year was reduced, and the third year was either reduced or nothing, but you still. And so she said her mom had 2 children, so she was home for 6 years.
That's crazy.
And no one in the country is like, you lazy bum, bleeding, and everyone kind of understands, no, you're raising the children. If you don't want a population of shitheads, this is a good way to help avoid that, hopefully.
And her job was like, do it. Like, you want to take 3 years, take the 3 years.
They have to.
Wow.
It's law.
We're one of the only first world countries that doesn't have standardized maternity laws.
Yeah.
I've known women who are like, you have to go back after 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And I'm like, how can you barely move?
Yeah. Well, my wife was able, she's gainfully employed and was able to take the full 12 weeks, but it's only 12 weeks.
3 months. That's crazy.
3 months,
It's like she's barely healed from that.
Yeah, and I mean? we can take more, but financially that's not really going to be possible,
Yeah.
And part of me really hopes, again, not a huge fan of the man, because even though he'll do something where I'm like, okay, that could be beneficial, then he'll put out like a Rob Reiner tweet when he passed away, and you're like, what the fuck was that? Or like the weird plaques he's writing under the pictures of the presidents. Have you seen those?
Very weird and sensitive things.
Very strange. Like, how do you? Again, I'm like, how do you have the time for that? Like, what?
That wouldn't enter my brain to do that.
You have so much less time than me. How do you have the time? Anyway.
Yeah.
But part of me hopes there's just some weird shift where when he's in his last second or his third or fourth year, that he just wants to go crazy and do all this crazy shit we do. Like, if all of a sudden he's like, we need the most comprehensive maternity leave the world has ever seen, I'd be like, like, just he seems like a guy who would want to cement his legacy at all cost.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's going to be really weird and bad.
Sure.
But if you're just throwing darts at the board, maybe he'll knock a couple in there that are really incredible.
Well, and that's one of those things, because he said the other day in a press conference he wants to have like the biggest tax season of ever, like the most beneficial. On its surface, sounds great, giving more money back to the people. But where's that money coming from? And it's also it's what tax laws are you changing, and who is truly benefiting?
You always got to wonder what the angle is.
That's always what I'm wondering is.
Yeah. Even when he says something I love, I'm wondering like, I want to like it, but what's the angle?
Well,
what's the angle? And I don't know. Maybe you've probably had friends like that where every now and then they do something really kind, but in the past they've always been like your friend who is kind of an ass.
Yeah.
And so even when they do something great, you're like, I don't know, man. Steve's always been a little,
It's one of those things where, like when you go to like a birthday party and they have a cake. Everyone can have a piece of the cake, but no one really gets the whole cake. And the person who has the whole cake is the birthday kid. You know, and it's like he's kind of like the birthday kid in that sense where he's saying, I can give you
he's
this
dishing
much.
The pieces.
Yeah, the pieces out, but it's still my cake. I can decide how much you get, which, the average person who makes maybe $50,000, $60,000 a year, 500 more from like back on their taxes, great. They would definitely use that. That'd be beneficial. But the people who make 500,000, what are you doing for them? Because those are the people putting in money to lobby for these types of things and putting those messages to politicians to be like, we need to do this or we should be doing this.
He's saying crazy shit though. Like we may not have an income tax anymore.
I mean, Texas doesn't have it, but I mean,
he's saying a federal. He's saying he's saying in his term, he might get rid of that.
I don't know how the country's going to function if we do that.
But how does Texas function without it?
I really don't know.
I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
Same.
That's like when people talk about a flat tax.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I don't know enough to know if that's good or bad, but I'd like to try it. I'd like to see what happens,
Because the idea of fairness sounds very nice. Everyone pays this low rate, whatever this is.
Yeah.
Low is kind of relative to your income, but it's...
I think I've gotten to this point in my life where I'm past hearing the opinions. Like, I'm so sick of intellectuals arguing which way is going to work. Now I've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, let's do a 2-year trial run.
Let's just try it. Yeah.
Let's just roll yours out for a couple years. We'll roll yours out, and then we'll all vote on it or something.
Well, and the hard thing about having these, even though we should have term limits, is the economic changes you will feel won't happen for a long time until after that person's probably left. There's no one then to be held accountable, really.
Well, okay.
In those instances. I
think what you just said is one of the main things that destroys America, not even from a political standpoint, but from the way we view everything in, a quarter, a year. We don't have 50-year goals if you're running a business.
Sure.
Everyone's quarter to quarter, and it's not about, long-term sustainability. I think maybe the last company... I'm trying to think of a last like CEO that was really thinking that way. Maybe Steve Jobs, maybe somebody like that who was just really shifted the way the world works. Well, I'm not saying people you like, just saying when he was at Apple, they had a vision. They ran off of his vision, and his vision seemed to be looking further out than just this year.
Yeah.
And whether or not you like Elon Musk, he seems to run things like SpaceX that way, where he's thinking in 10 years, I would like to be here.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of like how McDonald's runs their empire is, yes, they're a franchise, but they're not really a fast food company. They're a real estate company. Because they really focused on the franchise model. Now they own all these properties that have McDonald's, and that's great.
Yeah, because I think they posted, somebody got a hold of their guidelines of the type of lot they purchase, and it's got to meet certain things because they knew after this many years when the town grows, this will be a highly valued piece of land. And I don't think we do enough of that, thinking like, hey, I don't care about winning some pissing match over the next 4 years while your team president is in there, whichever side you're on.
Sure.
We got to be thinking 20 years from now. Yeah. What is this country going to look like?
Legitimately.
And then even these companies, the same way, it's like, hey, you can't have endless quarter after quarter, percentage increases in profit. That just doesn't happen.
It doesn't make sense.
No.
Because people's wages are not increased.
Yeah.
Like they don't have more free time. If anything, they have less because they either have families or they have second jobs or something. Because nothing's getting cheaper.
I think we currently have more people with second jobs than we've had in a very long time. I don't want to say ever.
Sure.
And then I think we just passed a new high for people over 65 still employed.
Oh yeah, I could believe it. 100%.
Yeah. And so those are terrible signs.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have corporations that are succeeding at wild numbers.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I keep my fingers crossed that if he had the right person chirping in his ear, the way he would, you can't tell him it's the right thing to do.
Sure.
You got to tell him, like, do you know how much everyone would love you and remember you if you did X, Y, Z? And if whoever's putting that in the ear can kind of be like, there would be no president who would ever match getting this done. Maybe just kind of like when a horrible, wealthy person in the past, at the end of their days, all of a sudden becomes really philanthropic. And now we think they're like incredible people because they built schools and museums and whatever, Maybe something will switch on. Maybe
when the dementia kicks in, but
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I was like, honestly, at this point,
I don't care how we get there. I'm going to do it. All right.
Yeah, I would hope for that too.
And then I'm just very curious to see what the next two candidates are going to look like, because the last 3 elections have been so unique and wild.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know that I'm going to recognize going back to a regular, like, here's this candidate, they're having debates without, Hillary, Biden, Kamala, Trump, COVID, all the things that were going on,
Yeah, we are.
All the special circumstances that happened.
We're really past that kind of at this point now, where it's like, not that people have recovered fully from the financial impact of COVID, but people have just learned to live with how things are right now. So it's kind of like, it really is going to become, I think, down to what the actual quality of life of most Americans have been after, when he leaves this office. I think that's going to be a really big deciding factor.
Yeah.
Because like, if you promise, you'll make more money, things will be cheaper. But if people aren't experiencing that for 4 years, it's like, they're really going to be hard pressed to maybe go with a similar candidate, maybe if what they've seen from the past 4 years doesn't align with that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I start to wonder now if it's a wild thing to say because Trump is currently in office and there's all these people who believe he wants to be a dictator and we're never going to have another election. So I want to make it clear I'm not talking specifically about his term right now, but you do wonder if 4 years is enough to have a meaningful impact anymore when you have 350 million people. Countries like China, for better or worse, they seem to have these long-term visions, and the way they run their country, it feels like they can attempt to execute longer-term visions. Whereas we are all so back and forth that right when you get the wheels moving, no matter which side you're on, it's time to go. Now we got to focus back on the election again. Put the projects on the side, Yeah. And I don't know. But then also I really want term limits for everybody.
Yeah, I do believe in term limits for sure. I think also the mindset of community is just different in other countries. Like in China, it's very like collectivism, where it's like what's good for all of us is good for everyone. Like it's very much like we do this for the whole good. And then I don't always feel that America is like that.
Yeah, why do you think we are that way? I 100% agree. We are a much more selfish
individualistic
society. And even down to just basic things, elevator etiquette, phone etiquette, like don't put your shit on speakerphone in this public place. The little things where it's like, I can deal with it, but could you just be cool? People driving with their bright headlights on in the city.
I think car culture is a big part of individualism and like not viewing things as a collective, because your car is your own little world. It's your music, your thoughts, your conversations, you purchased it. It's like all this, and I only have to have me in this if I only ever want to. I don't have to have anyone else. But when you kind of like remove some of that, like, because that's like your day to day, it's your commute to work, it's when you come home, it's going to the grocery store, everything. Like we drive everywhere here. Yeah. We're never like with each other together as a group. So we don't really have to look out for each other. I just have to make sure I don't hit anyone, and I have to make sure no one hits me. But other than that, I don't have to interact. As long as we don't swap paint, like we're fine. So I think car culture promotes that. I'm not saying it's the only thing. Sure. But especially with like status, it's like you look at people who drive nice luxury cars and you're like, wow, that must be somebody, or somebody's very lucky in life and they earned a lot of money doing whatever, and that's them. Yeah. I don't do that. I drive a Ford and I just live an average whatever, and that person driving the luxury car could look at me and say, oh, that's just, like everyone else. That person's not special. It's like it divides it, even if people aren't, I think, consciously thinking that way.
Yeah. Well, I think you slipped it in there without realizing is everybody believes we need to feel like we're special.
Yeah. Everyone thinks they need to be a movie star.
Yeah. It's strange,
For sure.
And it's weird to see how many delusional people believe in their day-to-day life that they are that special, that everyone is watching them when clearly no one's watching them.
I've seen the crowd work clips. Yeah. I have seen that. Yeah.
But just, if you go to a restaurant, like the volume that some people talk at, where they assume they genuinely think we're interested in what that conversation is. Like, have you ever seen that fake laughter where it's like they think we're all watching, like, oh, they must be having a fantastic time, and what is that? That's so strange, but it's so pervasive.
Yeah. And it also it started to have a rise in someone I don't know anyone likes, and that is influencers in public. Influencers, like when you're on whatever social media app, and it's like they are the star of their world, which is their social media pages. And they legitimately, a lot of them move through the world like that, where you hear about how they treat staff or they treat their team, or how they are just like when someone goes, oh, I'm a fan. They're like, okay. And I'm like, you post unboxing videos on TikTok.
Yeah, whatever happened to going like, I can't believe I make so much money from this, and I'm so fortunate that this just happened. Like a Jack Black type who's like, I can't believe I'm rich and famous from making silly noises and faces, and people dig it for some reason.
Yeah. Legitimately.
You can be that wild and still be humble.
Oh,
But we don't do it. I actually ran into that the first time in my life.
Really?
Yeah, surprisingly. We went to In-N-Out Burger. Took my son. He's 5 years old. And when I'm trying to pull in the parking spot, somebody's live streaming, and they're standing in the driveway where you pull into park. Like, they're just in the way.
It's disruptive, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, whatever. And there's like enough room for me to squeeze through, so I just like swing. But I whip it a little faster because I want them to like, ooh. Like, one of them turned when I did it, scared that I was just coming.
Yeah.
It's like, we had a couple feet, but in the moment you're worried, like, are they about to run me over? Because it's like, I want you to think about that. Like, I'm not going to hit you. I have no desire to do that. But I want you to think that this is crazy to stand in the spot where all these cars are driving and do a live stream.
Drunk people come here to get food.
Yes. Literally, because there's the lane where the cars are in the drive-thru, and then there's the lane next to it where you're driving by that. And they're in that. So it's like, this is the busiest part that you're in right now. This is insane. Yeah. And, so I hop out of the car and we're going in. I was like, oh, excuse me, fellas, just getting a burger. Do my little passive-aggressive bullshit. Yeah. And but then on the way out, they're between their car and my car, and it's on the side my son wants to get in, and they're still live streaming. Blah, blah. And, you walk up and you're like, hopefully you'll read the cues that we're coming this way, and you make it look.
Sure.
And I have to be like, hey man, do you mind if my little kid can get in the car here? We're trying to leave.
Yeah.
And they're all bothered. They're like, okay, hold on. It's like, man, fuck you, like, you know,
this isn't your movie set.
No,
you know,
and
this
it's like,
is a
God,
restaurant.
I miss the day. I was never this person, but I do appreciate the days now of when someone like that would have just got like smacked real quick. Like not their ass beat, but just like if you did that in the 50s or something, they would have just smacked you one time and be like,
100%.
get out of the way.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Like common sense.
And the person who got smacked would have been like, you're right. You're right.
True. Very true.
You're right. You're right. I was out of line. He'd be like, you're out of line.
Yeah.
By the way, my name's Jim. Nice to meet you. We come here a lot. We'll see you some other time. All right.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh.
There was I don't know. Maybe it was bad back then too, but
I feel like New Yorkers are kind of like that in general. Like they'll check each other. They don't do things like that to just be mean for no reason. But if you're acting like a dumbass, they'll be like, fucking quit.
Somebody said they're the nicest mean people.
Yeah,
like they're telling you they're doing something that is very nice.
Yeah.
But they're saying it in a mean way.
Yeah.
So like someone had a story about how they someone handed them a tissue on the subway when they were sick or crying or something. But when they give it to them, they're like, enough. Like, you know, like
I love that.
So they're helping, but also like,
yeah.
My favorite stuff that comes out of New York is there are these highlight reels now of influencers, mostly women, who are walking down the street doing their thing or whatever, and they're looking off camera and like turning someone down.
Oh,
like,
that's so
no,
weird.
I have a boyfriend. I'm not interested. Blah blah.
Yeah.
But then someone walking the other way will be like, "There's no one there. No one's hitting on her. She's lying. There's no one standing there."
She's actually in full psychosis. She actually needs her meds.
And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what you need as a city of people when they see you doing that. Just be like, shut up.
Yeah. Well, and it's like manufactured content that is disingenuous in the way of like how people actually operate in the world.
Yeah.
Like if you saw enough of those videos as a woman and you'd never been to New York, and you're like, you may think, oh, people just harass women on the street all the time. Does that happen? Yeah. There's always one random dipshit that'll say something, but that's not the majority of it all the time. But if you like start getting into that algorithm where people are doing videos like that, you will start to think, oh, that is how it is there.
That happened to me because I went down a rabbit hole of all the police videos where people are resisting arrest or arguing why they should be those what the fuck do they call them? They're morons. Sovereign citizens.
Oh yeah, the people.
You know,
who are
I have a right
driving,
to. I'm traveling without whatever that is, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And but you just start to think, you're like, God, everybody just argues now. Everybody argues and fights, and there's no. And then you realize, like, no. I just somehow went to this 5% of social media that's just nothing but these police interactions.
Sure.
You know, because it's always the perfect mix of. You've got the moron driver who's doing the sovereign citizen bullshit, who also happened to get the worst cop with the shortest temper who breaks the rules.
Sure.
And now we're in this weird, like, can you believe what happened? Who's right? And it's like, all of a sudden it's 2 a.m. It's like, why have I been watching these videos?
Yeah. And it's like you're boiling because you're like it's either you're mad at the cop doing something wrong or you're mad at the person for being a jackass.
Oh, he tried to open the door.
Yeah.
Why the hell did that cop open that door? You know, all that. You start going that route.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, every time I run into a police officer around here, especially with my son, it's always like, hey, say hi to the police officer. And they're like, oh, hey, buddy, you in school? Blah, blah. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's the internet.
I will say Dallas police, they're laid back as fuck. DPD does not care. I have seen so many instances where DPD could have interfered and they just didn't because it wasn't that serious.
Yeah.
But if that happened in McKinney, then there would be an issue.
Yeah.
Like one time I saw a girl, this was in Deep Ellum for context, who left some type of brunch place where they serve booze and it's kind of like a party-ish type of thing. She walks out, walks over to the side, pukes. The cops are across the street sitting there, and then she gets in her car and just drives away. And I was like, is puking on the street a crime? No, but can we make some deductive reasoning of why she's puking on the side?
That might be someone who came out of this place that serves alcohol
a little too inebriated, and they were just like, no, nothing happened.
I really go back and forth on it because Deep Elm especially.
Yeah.
Because like we were there one day just picking up there's Ani Ramen down there. I like to pick up to-go ramen from there. And I was just picking up, and it happened to be at a time where there was the like motorcycles and the four-wheelers who were doing the little intersection takeover, and they're riding their wheelies. And there's literally, 4 cops on that same corner when it's happening. And it's just, I'm getting older. I have a kid now too, because my kid came with me, and you're like, you guys going to do something about this?
Yeah, you're like, there's a minor.
You're going to do something about this? But then also at the same time, it's like, okay, I am bringing a 4-year-old to Deep Ellum to pick up some noodles here. Like maybe part of me needs to understand what area I'm in. It's like, does this, but, and then I want them to crack down on crime more.
Sure.
But I also have never received a speeding ticket in Dallas.
That's what I'm saying.
So, I mean,
DPD is short 80 cops
for
what it should be for the population size. And that's why I'm like, I tell people all the time, like, if like, especially like comics who come in from out of town, they're like, oh, what's it like down here? Like, because like if in Deep Ellum at some of the clubs and stuff, I'm like, okay, it's chill. Like, I wouldn't be here out at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But the cops don't give a shit. As long as you're not like waving a gun outside of your car, they really don't care. So, I mean, it has its good and bad. Like, it's a fun, chill place to party, but things get sketchy when people get too drunk.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, any town. I mean, it's better than, you don't want that cop who's breathalyzing everyone as they walk out the door of the bar. That's bad for...
Because they haven't committed a crime yet.
Yeah, that's bad for everything too, right? There's, clearly it's like the girl who threw up, we start getting in a gray area.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe she has food poisoning, but
it's
probably alcohol.
And it's like, do you want to let that one slide because you're waiting on a bigger crime? I don't know. I'm not a cop. I don't know what the I don't know what the level of importance is.
I couldn't tell you what
it's
their
easy to
priorities are.
It's really easy to armchair expert that, right? But
yeah, for sure. And granted, I would say they should receive scrutiny. You are a public figure who has power over other people. You should be questioned. You should have like a certain level of not just professionalism, but standards that you can't waver from.
I view it as to me, that's the same as the daycare discussion. I think anything that's essentially a civil service should be highly paid.
Of course.
With extreme requirements.
Extreme requirements.
Right?
And
the bar should be high. The judgment you should be able to handle.
Yeah.
And we're going to pay you well because of the scrutiny.
Yeah.
That way it's worth the bullshit that you're going to go through.
That's the only reason people become judges.
Yeah.
I was like, they make good money, but could they make more? Sure.
Yeah.
But
and judge specifically too. There's been more than a handful of judges where someone didn't like a sentence and the judge got murdered. You're literally, I mean, it's a very risky career.
It's incredibly risky.
Yeah.
If you are a decent person, it's incredibly dangerous if you're not, because there's that judge in Kentucky who a sheriff shot him in his own chambers.
Oh, yes.
Because
what was that about?
He was like women who were coming into his court for whatever sentences. He would then go to the county jail, and there were other people in on this, where he would possibly, exchange lighter sentences for sexual things.
The judge was doing this?
Yes.
Allegedly?
Yeah.
So how did it get to the point where the sheriff shot him? Did he know one of the women or something?
Yeah, because it was in a very small town.
Oh, so it must have been someone he knew on a personal level?
I'm sure, probably. Even if you don't know them on a personal, like they're not your friend or family, it's like you probably see the same people coming in and out of your jail. You get familiar. And it's like, also, hopefully, maybe that person does have a really good sense of justice where they know something wrong is happening to women.
Yeah, but still to pull that gun out and just...
But, yeah, it was probably...
Did he die?
No, yeah, he died.
Oof.
It was probably a personal... someone he knew that he was like, oh, no, this is going to end today.
Yeah, I mean...
And that's just one judge. I don't know about the rest of them, but yeah.
Well, there were other judges because of the for-profit prison system. There were other judges who were caught... I don't know if they had a stake in the ownership of the jail or if they were just taking kickbacks, but they were giving people longer sentences because it was more profitable for the jail.
Yeah.
That type of bullshit.
I can't remember the documentary, but there was one where it was talking about how life without parole finally became illegal for minors. It didn't always used to be illegal. So there were some judges that were incentivized to offer that, or not offer, it's not an offer, to sentence with like a life without parole, and they would get a certain financial payback
because
that.
You're getting guaranteed money now for 50, 60 years.
At least. And they're a minor, so it's like, how do they advocate for themselves besides their lawyer? They really can't. There's no like representatives that really take on those types of cases. I'd have to tell you that documentary when I think about it, because it's really, really good. And it also like kind of asks the question that a lot of people don't think about when they think about life without parole is when you hand life without parole, you're saying you are not able to be reformed. You are unable of, truly paying your debt and being someone who can evolve past the violence that they committed, which is like an interesting thing, because if we believe in rehabilitation, why does life without parole exist? If it's a rehabilitation system, or is it a punishment system? Because if you call it a punishment system, then that is what it is. You decided that is the punishment, life without parole. But if you're saying we're rehabilitating minors, why can't they get out at some point?
It's especially different with children. Right?
Exactly.
Because, we've all fucked up just on different levels of severity. But, if you're only 15, God, you can turn that around in so many ways depending on what the crime was. I mean, even if you picked something horrible, even if it was murder. At 15, you could still educate, change, find a way to make amends with victims' families, something. Because then that brings up the question too. If you can't be paroled, right? You can't be rehabilitated. Then now you're bringing up the discussion. It's like, okay, so does that mean we just put you down?
Exactly.
Because that's what you would do with an animal, where it's like every now and then you'll see, like a horse or something, where they're like, they were starved of oxygen for this long during the birth or something, and they're crazy. We can't fix them, and they put them down. It's something weird where it's just out of...
Or their leg is severely broken.
Sure, yeah. Well,
and
yeah.
They don't do it as often, but they used to do it.
I feel like that was an older one where they're just like, it's going to be expensive to fix that leg.
Legitimately. I mean, but they're
I don't know shit about horses, by the way.
This horse can't run, so they're just like...
That just sounded like you could have fixed that leg.
Yeah. It's like, if you paid $600, you could have fixed it.
If you can fix a dog leg, I feel like you can fix a horse leg,
Yeah.
I mean, how many three-legged dogs are running around living a happy life? I think a horse could figure that out, maybe.
I've seen plenty of pits, tripods, just running.
I'm going to find out later there's science where it's like, actually, horses just fall over. They can't handle 3 legs. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, it does beg the question, though. If you're saying they can't be rehabilitated, then... I'm not saying I believe this or not, but then wouldn't you just go, okay, so it's death sentence because we're not going to waste all this money? That would be the logical argument of like, there's nothing we can do, so that's garbage. They're out. But you're not willing to say that either. So it does make it seem like you really just want stable income.
Yeah, and
this is a stream of income for you.
The death penalty, or people who receive the death penalty, there are certain appeal processes that are automatic. And the average amount of taxpayer dollars from day you're convicted to the day you actually get the needle, that going through the entire appeals process through the courts and through an attorney, average it's about $2 million.
Yeah.
Financially, that does not make sense for a state to offer that.
Yeah.
Also, a larger question is, if you sentence someone to death, you are saying as the state, we absolutely 100% without a doubt can prove that this person committed this crime. There is no mistake that could have been made in this justice whole timeline of arrest to conviction, that we could, we're all perfect, basically. It's basically what you're saying is this is a perfect system. We're perfect people. The evidence is perfect.
Yeah. Well, and we've seen now, right, how many people have been exonerated.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because of just being able to use DNA evidence now versus back when it was just like, we saw them. And how much witness testimony is being proven to not be reliable at all.
And do we want to tell states, we trust you enough to be absolutely perfect and to 100% have absolutely no doubt that this person created this crime and their rights, I guess they did create the crime, theoretically, and that none of their rights were ever violated. And that their lawyer acted 100% ethically the entire time. And they discovered everything, did every interview. You can't
that's
guarantee
the thing, right?
Those things.
In a perfect scenario, it probably works extremely well.
Sure.
On paper, it probably works very well. But, there's just lots of pieces of shit that cut corners, for all sorts of different reasons, right? Somebody messed up bagging a piece of evidence, and they're on their last write-up before they lose their job. So they're like, I'll just do it. Nobody will know, blah, blah, blah. And then that ends up being the thing that screws something over later, right? There's always a little corner cut somewhere.
Exactly.
And, I go back and forth a lot on the death penalty. Having kids, too, that's another one where it changes you. Yeah. Stuff like pedophilia, you look at that so wildly. Like, I thought I had a strong view on it. And then when you have you probably have nieces and nephews at this point, right?
I do.
So you know what I mean? It's like you probably get a little bit of that from them where you're just like, if anyone ever fucking touched you,
Yeah, it would never...
Not saying people without kids don't.
No,
You know what I'm saying? It's just, I have something there. And so now, it's like you want to think that person could be rehabilitated. But then you think, God, I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can.
There's no psychological evidence that has proven that they can be.
You know what I'm saying?
I would love for that to exist.
And so then you think like, cool, we don't need that whole appeals process. Let's just get it on,
Yeah.
And then, but then it's like, man, what if that person really was wrong place, wrong time? Somebody gave a bad statement, and that's innocent. How many criminals do you want to let sit on death row for $2 million versus how many innocent people do you want to accidentally kill?
Yeah.
Just that whole thing.
And that's basically the ultimate question is, as a state, what is your responsibility to ensuring someone's right to life? And then what is your responsibility to the safety of the general public? And so it's like, is life without parole a more ethical option? Yes, theoretically, because you say we've determined that we believe you committed this crime, that you should die in prison, but we aren't going to take your life without having the opportunity to have parole.
Yeah.
Because you can have life without parole, but you can go through an appeal process. You can have a conviction vacated, but you can't undo a death.
Yeah. I wonder if there's any country that has been so strict that crime has just gone down to minuscule levels. Because if you steal and I chop off your hand, if it's that severe, does that mean the areas where they chopped off the hands that there's just no theft anymore, or have they been chopping off hands for 100 years? Have we? Does the strict punishment ever curb the behavior? I wonder.
Yeah, I do wonder about that. My sister, she went to work in Singapore for 2 weeks when she was in Hong Kong. She had to do a flight over there. Crime is incredibly low, but they have really harsh penalties for things that we would maybe consider like civil issues or, misdemeanors. Like fraud is like a really big punishment over there. And, any type
Which seems like a great idea, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
seems incredible.
Yeah, that's weird to say like, oh, they take it seriously.
Yeah. But destruction of public property is a really big deal.
Yeah.
She said that they investigate things because she has coworkers who are residents in Singapore, that they're like, you can report absolutely anything to the police and they will investigate it to the best of their ability. They're so strict on it, which it's like good, but then also it's like, are we making a mountain out of a molehill? Did a kid, I don't know, break their neighbor's window because they threw a rock or something and it hit it? Or, you know what I mean? Like
for me, that would all be good as long as if the kid if we found out it was a kid who accidentally broke the window.
Yeah.
As long as they're not like, okay, straight to juvie.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's in like, okay, we got to the bottom of it. It wasn't a crime. We're going to put you in touch with the neighbor, swap insurance, whatever, get it handled.
Yeah.
If it's handled like that, to me, that sounds like a system. I've learned now. I didn't used to be this way.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm starting to really love rules and not organization, but just you start to see, if people just took care of their shit, everything would be better.
Sure.
Right?
If people were responsible, yeah.
Whatever your job is, if you just, okay, so what? You're only getting paid $45,000 at the daycare thing. You're looking for a change. I understand. But while you're here, if you just execute that just to the best of your ability, and we all just kind of had this social contract, like we're just going to do at McDonald's, I'm just going to try to be the best damn cashier while I'm here, knowing I'm moving out of this.
Yeah.
How much better would it all be? You know, it would all be better. You don't have to love it to just try to do it well.
Yeah.
And it's like we're just we have a large group in the society. It's just cutting corners. And I'm guilty. I did that constantly. That's definitely 100% me.
Yeah, I've definitely done that before.
Yeah, but now I'm starting 100%. To see like, oh God, if we just cared about those little tiny things like that, like if we did figure out how the rock went through the window.
Sure.
God, I don't know. It just feels like everything would be better.
Yeah, I think it would be better if people had that commitment to themselves because ultimately when people, you know, kind of like when you're growing up, you're maturing. That's different. Mm-hmm. But like when you're an adult and you're someone who constantly has something wrong going on in their life, constantly is getting fired from jobs or constantly, you know, there's some crisis. I know bad things happen to people, but a lot of times it does come down to a personal accountability. And where that comes from is low self-esteem, because what you tell yourself is when you make a promise to yourself and say, I will do this, you fulfill that promise, you do that thing, you grow confidence in yourself because you're like proving to yourself, I can do this. But if you tell yourself, I'll do this or I should do this, but you don't ever actually do it, what you're actually telling yourself is it's okay to break promises to myself. It's okay to disappoint myself because I told myself I would do this, but then I never actually did it.
Yeah.
And so if you can always break promises to yourself and always disappoint yourself, you have no problem disappointing other people, disappointing, you know, whoever else. It's like if I know someone, like this is like a really like hard opinion I have, is that if you have children and you don't either take care of them physically or don't help financially take care of them, I can't trust you. Mm-hmm. Because if you can let down the people who depend on you, and I'm not talking about if you know, have a disability or something happens, but like someone who just doesn't do what they should do.
Yeah.
Why would I think you would uphold a promise to me when you have someone who is legally and like family-wise connected to you who you are fine letting down?
Yeah.
I can't trust that person.
You know what example I see around here all the time? And that's where I wish, you know, DPD would be like, fucking get them, you know, is, God, I'll see parents where they'll have 2 or 3 kids in the back seat of their car, no car seat, no seat belt. They're just...
The kids are standing up.
They're just like, roaming around. And it's like, dude, you're doing 80 on 75 right now.
So dangerous.
You know, and so, you know, it's like, maybe nothing happens, but it's like if you get in an accident, you know, best case scenario, you know, they're going to be really fucked up and they're going to live through it. But also, you're showing them it's like none of these rules matter. Like you're not even teaching them to value their own safety and protection.
Own life,
you know, so it's like, what is home life like when you're like that? Whereas you wonder, because that's the argument, right? Is if I pull that person over, arrest them, blah blah blah.
Sure.
Maybe this is a poor person who can't afford a car seat, and we just put more problems on their life that they can't manage, and we're keeping them in poverty and blah blah blah. But also like. Fucking find a way, all right? Like
exactly.
Like if you didn't have the car seat, but when you got pulled over, the seat belts were on, and you're attempting to do something, you know, you're sitting them on some books or some shit. It's not ideal, but you're trying.
Sure, yeah.
But when they're just roaming around back there, it's like, no, you don't give a shit, you know.
Yeah.
And that stuff, I never spotted it so much, and now that I've seen it a couple times, you see it all the time. It's like a once a month thing.
Oh
that
yeah,
I say.
for
Easy.
sure, 100%.
And you're just like, man, that's the only one I saw.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's not counting what people do on their daily commutes every day.
And if I were talking to that adult and be like, you just let your kids back there,
they'd
be like, yeah, they're fine. But like they don't see that there's just any.
I wouldn't socialize with that person again. Because I couldn't have my kids going over to their house.
Yeah.
Because if they do that in a car, what are they doing in the house?
I mean, I would, you know, I'd be polite and socialize with you, but we're probably not hanging out. You know, you know what I'm saying?
I guess, that's a better way to say it.
Like hey, we're having the kids over. I can give them a ride. No,
no.
Well, we went through that. My son needs a summer camp, and all this shit's way too expensive. And we found one that was more affordable.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my wife. I was like, yeah, but you know why that one's more affordable. And there's like a certain demographic of children that are going there where when we went to the park over by that same area, the kids are all out there and they're like the little shithead kids who are like, they're already cussing, they're already fighting, all this stuff. It's like, we're not sending our sweet little, you know, 5-year-old who doesn't have these bad habits yet to spend a couple weeks with those kids.
Yeah, I mean, because they learn
and
from
pick
their
up
peers.
all that. Yeah,
for sure. Even though those kids may be misguided.
Yeah.
your kids will learn
it's
bad
not their
words.
It's not their fault right now that they're shitheads.
Absolutely.
But I still can't take that risk.
No,
you know?
yeah.
I can't. It's like I'm sorry your parents suck.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like if you get into his head that this is like super cool and he starts acting that way and I'm not able to unwire it.
Yeah. Or he learns a bad word and starts saying this bad word in public.
He's already doing that. He's already doing that just like at regular school. He came up to me, he's like, I'll kick you in the nuts.
What?
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't even know what those are.
Okay, so Taylor P.
Yeah.
She was on here and she told me this hilarious story where she was doing a Cartman impression when she was young.
Yeah.
And she was saying "suck my balls," and her mom set her down and made her look up balls on the internet to show her like,
God.
Literally, she was like, "This is what we're talking about: testicles, penis." So I need to make sure you understand what you're communicating. Like her mom kind of hit her with that, and I'm over here taking notes. I'm like, all right, that's some good parenting shit right there.
Yeah, really.
So that was the first thing I did is I showed my 5-year-old testicles on the internet. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Like,
I'm kidding. No, no. But
I
normally I'd just be like, hey, don't say that. You're in trouble. And instead I go, hey, come here. I'm like laughing. I go, do you know what nuts means?
Yeah.
Do you know what you're saying?
Where on the body is that? Yeah.
He didn't even think that. He thought it was like nuts, like cashews or something, like your bag of nuts that you eat.
Yeah.
He's like I'm going to kick those. And I was like, oh, no. I was like, you know how you have these in your private area? And he's like, yeah. I was like, you're saying you want to kick those on someone else. And he's like, oh. It was just this little epiphany. And I was like,
he had no idea.
But he's already picking up those little things. I'm already having to correct that.
Sure.
What am I going to do when your little hood rat friends are like smoking cigarettes on the jungle gym? You know,
Gosh, and that's, because you can't protect them. Like if they go to the same school. Like it's it's that thing of like, you can't parent everyone.
We had this thing ruined for us. We tried to do this. My wife told me about it because on Friday mornings she would take them to get donuts at the donut place in our little area.
That's cute.
It's a cute little tradition, and she was like, there's this one private school over there where their kids come over there and the parents, the kids, they're all assholes. And I was like,
oh, really?
What? And I was like, you're probably just like your coffee didn't hit you yet. You're probably being a little judgmental,
Mm-hmm.
When she was on maternity leave, I took over the Friday morning thing for 6 weeks.
Okay.
We changed donut places because of those assholes.
Really?
Oh, my God. It was like this whole group. They're standing in front of the door. They're blocking everybody. They're throwing their trash on the ground, leaving trash on the tables. And these were like more wealthy people.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I can't even be around this, Yeah. And not only is it ruining the experience, but he's trying to process this. Yeah. And I'm having to shatter his innocence early.
Yeah.
Because he's like, Daddy, why are they like that? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, we never have anywhere to sit and they leave their trash everywhere.
What's so?
I was like,
oh.
Yeah. And this is like donut time for him. He's psyched about it. And I have to tell him, I go, look, man, some people are just rude. And he's like, so are those kids rude? And I was like, yeah.
In that moment.
I go, but the problem is like, you see how their parents are doing the same thing? Like this parent's doing that and that parent's doing that. He's like, yeah. I was like, so they're rude. And they're raising people, but they don't think they're rude.
Yeah.
So they're making another rude person.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh. Like you could see like a little bit died in him. And I was like, man, but I also don't want you to live in a fantasy world. Yeah. But then I got excited because he saw people sitting there like enjoying their donuts, being quiet, not causing anything. He's like, so they're not rude people. And I was like, no, they're good. And he's like, okay, and their kids aren't going to be rude. And I was like, probably not. They seem okay. I was
Hopefully
like,
not,
God, you're really thinking about this more than I thought you would.
He's like labeling everyone rude, not rude.
Yeah. But it's just like, yeah, just the little small things that you're wiring into these tiny individuals. Yeah. And literally it's a group of like 40, 50 people at this donut place.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And all those kids. Like we walked up one day and the bench my son wanted to sit on. Yeah. The table has a statue of a man playing chess at the table, and you can like sit next to that. Mm-hmm. So he wants to eat his donuts there. When we're walking up, 4 of these kids are sitting there just hawking loogies on the benches. Ew. Just spitting just over and over and over.
And people wonder why we have a flu problem.
Yeah. And their parents are 10 steps away, not saying anything. And I like now I have a dad voice and I don't give a shit. Yeah. And so I just go, hey. And they like look at you and I was like, quit spitting on that. Yeah. People want to sit there. Yeah. And they don't even flinch. They're like, I'm like, where are your parents? And they're like, don't tell him where your parents are. He's going to go get them. Like the kids are like talking to them. I'm like, oh, so y'all are already like.
They're smart.
Yeah. And the parents are like, what's going on? I was like, they're spitting all over the bench my son wanted to sit on and eat some donuts. And they're like, oh, well, we can get some paper towels. And it's like, no, I'm not. Never mind.
Yeah, no.
It's not the mess at this point. It's like, talk to your shithead kid, you know? I want to see you go grab that kid by the arm and go, you're spitting on what? And like parent.
Yeah, exactly.
They were just like, oh, I guess we can wipe it up. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I've seen so many parents who, and I'm trying not to be overly critical of parents, but there is some level of like, hey, like you have a job here.
You have a job. You chose to bring this here.
Yeah, because like there's one time I was on an airplane and these kids were like kind of loud and rowdy the whole time, which is like whatever, like I just put my headphones in. Mm-hmm. But like when we landed and we're all waiting, like, you like have to like, I was like sitting in my seat because I'm not gonna be one of the people that stand up and stand for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was just like sitting waiting until I could get out. And these kids were kind of jumping around, and this kid kept constantly touching my arm and hitting my arm. And I was very nice, but I was like, please don't touch me. And the kid was so shocked that I said, please do not touch me.
Yeah, and you're taking a gamble that they're going to be like, what did you say to my kid?
Yeah.
And it's like,
the mom didn't even notice.
Here we go.
She was just like in her own world, which she had multiple kids. I get it. That's tough. But like, you also have to like teach your kids like, hey, don't touch strangers.
Well, I can't stand those parents that think, like on an airplane, for instance.
Yeah.
If you're flying and you can't handle a baby crying, it's like, yeah, that's a unique scenario. Yeah. But also, like, there's levels. Like if your baby's just screaming and you're not doing shit, that's different. Yeah. If we see you actively trying to calm this baby the whole flight, okay, exactly. I'll cut you. If that kid's bumping into your arm a couple times and you see the parent like, hey, don't touch them. People don't want to do that. And then it happens again, you're less likely to be a little bothered because they're trying. You're trying.
Yeah.
But when it's just unaware, it's like,
just, yeah.
Because they just think like, oh, it takes a village. It's like, yeah, some people didn't want to raise your kids.
Yeah. It's also like, I just don't know your kids and we're on a plane and kids touch everything and I don't want to get sick because your kid could have a stuffy nose and wipe their hand and now they touched me. Yeah. Like I just don't want that.
All reasonable in a normal society.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to tell him early on, like, we'd go eat at Chick-fil-A or something and he's like getting loud and I'd have to go, hey. And he'd like, look at me and go, I don't know if it's good parenting or bad parenting, but I was like, do you see all these people?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. I was like, none of them want to hear you.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear you. When you're loud, they're annoyed that you're being loud.
Yeah.
I was like, so we need to have our indoor conversation here or we're not going to come back.
Yeah.
And he's quieter at the table. And so to me, that's a win. I don't know, but some parents, I think, view it as like really, like you're really strict, or like telling him like people don't want to hear him or something. It's like, but they don't.
Yeah, it's like, but those people are not in a capacity where they are supposed to be listening to your kid.
Yeah.
Like they're not their teacher, their coach. They're not, they're just randos at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. And now I was so proud. Now a couple times there's been somebody who's loud in there and it's funny when it's an adult and it's not a kid. And he's like, they need to be quieter. Nobody wants to hear them. And I'm like, fuck yeah, man. There you go.
Rock
there
on.
you go.
You get it.
Yes. Like he's starting to see how it ruins people's time. Like we're all sharing the space here. We all would like to have a nice time having our meal.
Yeah.
Let's not fuck it up for anybody.
Yeah.
And so I'm working real hard. We started that at like 2 years old.
Yeah, I mean, kids need to learn how to be out in
public. Thank you.
They do.
And I see these little wild animals running around. You just want to like kick them and just tell the parent like, get on that. Get on top of that. But I don't know. Everybody's got such a different parenting style. And everybody thinks they're perfect, right?
Sure. Every parent is perfect. Or, the government decides otherwise. There's a big gap between the perfect parent and then the parent that loses everything.
What's insane to me while we're talking about Chick-fil-A, the amount of parents who let their kids walk from a play area barefoot to the bathroom. Every time I'm there. That's almost like I wish Chick-fil-A would instate like a bathroom security just for shoes. And it's like, it's not even, I have shoes on, your dirty feet aren't bothering me, but what the fuck? You're walking on filth,
And yeah. Oh my God, that stresses me out.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, that's so nasty. And then like,
it's disgusting.
What if your kid has a cut on their foot and they get an infection or something gross? Yeah.
I've also seen homeless people use this restroom and your kid just walked in there barefoot.
Yeah. And it's also like I'm a man. I know how men treat restrooms sometimes.
Yeah.
You're like, I wouldn't, no.
Are we trusting that 16-year-old did a really good mop job in there?
No.
On the floor?
I second guess if I clean stuff good enough sometimes.
And you'll watch that kid walk back to parents that look, they're not struggling. They clearly they're steady middle-class people.
Sure.
They can afford socks and shoes, and they're smart enough to know to go, hey, put those on before you get out of the thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But barefoot. Ugh.
Yeah,
Wild.
yeah. That's sorry. That's just like grossing me out. I can't.
It's disgusting.
Maybe that's why I can't be a parent, because it's just stuff like that makes me gross.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The kid stuff's a trip. It's you definitely see why there are so many problems, because you see how quickly someone is slipping on raising their child.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Because even when you're trying, you're making a shitload of mistakes.
Yeah.
So if you're not trying at all, it's like, oh man, that poor kid. Like they're doomed. Going back to like the kids without parole, it's like, man, if you just had that shitty parent.
Yeah.
We got to give you a second chance. We got to give you a second chance. You might have really achieved something. Like you said, any structure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's wild. It's giving me a new perspective on everything. Even looking at comics in the scene now.
Yeah, for sure.
You're just like, man, if you had a little bit of stability in this way or that way, I wonder what you're going to really achieve. Yeah. Whatever that version of stability that's needed, Yeah,
for the most part, and I can't speak for every comic, but the comics who have kids are a little bit more grounded, and they aren't involved in the bullshit as much. There's always exceptions, but for the majority of it. And you really kind of see the disparity between male and female comics when they have children, because men are around less, because yes, you have a new responsibility, but they're still kind of around. And I had a comic one time come up to me at Comedy Arena, because he was hosting the open mic, and he is a kid, and he was like, hey, and I'm like, a lot of times at open mics, sometimes I'm the only girl there, or there's like one other for whatever reason. And he was like, hey, Emily, I'm really trying to get more like female comics out tonight, or to this mic. He's like, why do you think they don't come out as much? And I said, how come you can be here? And he goes, oh, my wife's at home with our baby. And I was like, yeah, they are the wife. They are most likely taking care of their kids. I'm one of the few that don't have kids, but there's several women in DFW comedy who have children who just simply can't make it work. So, you have to pick being a good comic or a good mom.
Right.
And he was like, oh, I didn't even think about it that way. And I was like, yeah, unfortunately, that's a truth.
I still see, I don't know which last name is the name she goes by. I can never keep up, but Sylvia.
Yeah. Sylvia, she has 4 kids.
Yeah.
So sometimes I see her really involved, and sometimes I don't.
I know. When I see her doing more shows, I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How?
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like, I guess they have a good relationship with her ex or whatever, but still, it's just the logistics is kind of baffling for 4 kids.
Well, and she works too, and she does other stuff. She's not doing nothing. So, how she makes it work, I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't,
Always seems to be in a good mood, too.
She is, yeah. Which I'm like, I feel like that's something chemically. She just is always, and maybe that's who she likes to be around people, is just happy and bubbly, and I love that about her. But if that's her default, we're wired different.
Yeah.
Because I just am not.
I'm glad the happy, bubbly person is the one who has 4 kids, and not the, I don't even smoke, but I'd be chain smoking out back. Everyone's like, God damn, why do I have so many kids?
I know, right? I was like,
when you see somebody with a lot of kids who's still very happy, you're like, all right, good for you.
Yeah. And also, I had the mom that had a lot of kids.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. 7, is that
7
right?
kids in our family.
Yeah.
And it's outwardly she's very nice, very social, but there's lots of times where she was like, I have a migraine, I need to go to my room, because she had 7 kids being like, mom, 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 mom. Yeah, I'd have a migraine too. But it's one of those things where I'm like, she had more of a temperament to handle it. I just don't have that same temperament. So she could deal with it, but.
Because if I remember correctly, it was traditional. She was stay-at-home mom, right?
Yeah. So she met my dad. She was his secretary, and he proposed at her desk. Very romantic. And
go ahead and file these.
File this. Also put this ring on. Be at my house later. So she had a kid from a previous marriage, and then they got married later on, and then they had the 6 other kids. And she didn't work when we were kids. She didn't start working, and she worked at a very limited capacity, not until I was probably like 19, 20.
Wow.
Something like that. So, yeah, I think her first kid was at like 22, and I think her last kid was at 42.
42?
Yeah, she had my brother when she was 42.
Was she trying to have your brother?
No, I just think they were trying. I don't think they were trying not to have kids.
I got you.
But
yeah. I would think at 42 you start thinking, especially, she's from a different generation where just 42 is very late.
Yeah.
And you would think like, no, you don't get pregnant at 42. Now we know, but
yeah.
But wow.
Yeah.
It's just odd too, like at that age when you've already had 6.
Yeah. I think she was kind of like, whatever at that point. And I mean,
this factory's going, it's fine.
Yeah. And she's very Catholic, so she wouldn't have had an abortion or anything. So it's like, she was very much just kind of like, okay. And that's what happened.
Wow.
So
we randomly bumped into somebody who was they were pregnant in their 50s.
That's like, didn't Janet Jackson have a kid in her 50s or something?
And my wife told me the exact age, but it wasn't like 51. I think it was like mid 50s. And they just randomly like bumped into him somewhere, and a conversation came up, and I was just like, whoa.
What?
It's just wild to think.
How far along were they? Like, do you say like pretty far along, or not really?
It was going to stick. Like it wasn't. There was no chance of this not panning out.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It sounded like maybe they had opportunities before that didn't work. And they just really wanted one, and it just kind of took this long. But I was like, whew, man.
Yeah, I can't.
Because you wonder, ethically, it's like, do you want to be a really old parent? Like, does that hinder the kid? I don't know.
I mean, we don't know enough.
Linda seems
science.
cool. She was raised by her grandparents.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. And
but even now I'm thinking, so I'm 40, and I was like, oh my God, this little girl. I was like, if she gets married, let's say she gets married around 30, right?
Yeah.
And then it takes a couple years for her to have kids. It's like, man, I'm going to be in my 70s when there's grandkids. It's
yeah,
like,
you'd be 75.
Yeah, I know, but you just hope you're a healthy 75 that gets to experience grandchildren, till I'm 95 or something, and get a good, run with them.
Yeah.
But, it's like if she decides to wait longer or something, do that, or the son too, it's like, oh God, man. I was like, did we wait too long to have kids? And I never, ever thought that. It was literally like 5 days ago. I'm holding her, and I'm thinking like, I wonder if I'm going to see your grandkids.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, that's so sweet.
But that's what spawned on more of the aggressive weight loss lately. Is like, we got to get healthy. We got to get it right. I mean, there's other things just need to be healthier, but
yeah. But I mean, the reason why is not as important as the actual results. So you could do it for vanity reasons. You could do it because you want to see your grandkids.
Yeah. No, it's definitely vanity. Like as soon as we get to a certain level, there's just going to be no shirt all the time.
Yeah.
There's going to be vanity.
As you should if you work for it.
It's definitely a good, proper midlife crisis too. It's like I want to be that person who's like, I'm in better shape at 40 than I ever was at 18, that bullshit.
But, or at least, stop before the steroids. Like just stop before the steroids. I'm not talking about like hormone replacement therapy that like men need, but like
you mean like illegal steroids?
Yeah, like
I was gonna say I was like
whatever they do. I see. This is how much I know about steroids because I go like that.
Like you shoot it like heroin, right?
Yeah, like you top them.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm afraid to get testosterone checked because I feel like they're gonna say, it's like. Anyone my age is probably going to have like degeneration of their neck. And if you go see a surgeon, they're going to be like, well, we could fix that. And it's like, yeah, but my neck's moving good. I'm all right.
Yeah.
And I wonder, it's like, I bet testosterone's that way where it's like at 40, they're going to probably be like, well, it's not optimal.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. And I know the moment you give it to me, I'm going to love it. Like, I'm going to want to stay on it. I'm going to want to take more.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm going to have the legal testosterone.
Yeah.
And that's why all these dudes are jacked in their 50s now.
Scares me.
Yeah, but I don't know that they found a negative side effect yet, so I'm too scared to go even check it now Because I'm worried we're going to find out in another 5-10 years that they're, oh my God, they all had to go get their valve replaced or something.
Enlarged hearts. I thought that was like a symptom of like overuse of like the testosterone therapy. Is like your heart can like grow a little bit too much or too big.
I don't know. So I'm going to have a super strong heart.
Yeah, you're gonna. Where's the downside?
Yeah. Well, and now there are people having discussions about that illegal steroids are probably much safer than we realize. It's just that because you're using them in shady scenarios where you're not controlling dosage and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But if you were to scientifically approach it, that there's no health risk to it.
Sure.
Because that's why they're trying to get, I can't remember what it's called. They're trying to do an Olympics where it's whatever you want to do. You want to get you want to get roided out of your mind. I can't remember what it's called. But and they're saying part of that is to prove that it can be done in a way that is safe, even though there's going to be some freaks who go out there and die early because they did it the wrong way. But
and there's going to be tons of like very thick waivers being like, you agreed to do this, and we know you're using, and you know you're using, and you can't blame us for anything. Yeah,
it's something like the Unhinged games or something. Like it's definitely like a Red Bull kind of crazy scenario, but I don't know. Well, listen, I've taken up enough of your time. I appreciate you stopping in before you get out of here.
Yeah, we talked about everything, and I appreciate it.
And best of luck in Chicago.
Thank you.
The I'm a Fan of podcast, music, comedy, and more.